Happy Wednesday. Hey, welcome to another episode of Moments of Clarity. So today we're going to do something different. I want you guys to really think about your goals this year and to drop them in the comments below. What's up, Will? What's up? Hey. Drop your goals for 2023. Drop one of your major goals for 2023 in the comments. I'm gonna tell y'all what we're gonna do with that later, but get vulnerable. Let's all connect right now and let me know what is a major goal that you have for 2023. What's up, y'all? Also, sorry I'm late. It just be like that sometimes, but I've been doing good this season. I've been showing up at 6:01, so I'm really excited about my timeliness. While I have y'all here, I wanted to let you guys know about Art Noir tomorrow. I'll be hosting this event in Springfield, and it was literally one of my favorite events to host last year. It was really fun. It's in Springfield at the Springfield Art Museum. You have artists, local artists showcasing their art. You have music. Rick Sexton will be there. Cam will be there. Elijah Seabrook, I think that's his rapper name. And a few other people. And then I'm hosting it with my cousin. So it's just going to be a really good time. It's going to be libations, food. So if you have some capacity tomorrow at 6:30 it starts. Come out and have fun with us. Like I said, it's one of my favorite events. So hopefully I'll see you guys there. Hey, Ashley. Okay, so we got some goals. So we'll go to that real quick before the next thing. Create content that drives the culture. I like that. It sounds like we need to do a collab. Ashley said, I want to figure out my career goals. Hey, everybody that just joined us. Hey. Okay, y'all. So also, there's merch coming soon. I know you guys have seen me with the Moments of Clarity shirt on and the coffee cup. So I'll be releasing those next week. But if you share this live after we get done and tag me in it, you can have a free coffee cup. They usually run for $15. So you know what I'm saying? Get you a free coffee cup with just a share and a tag. And you could be the winner. Will said one of his goals is defining my next career move. Okay, that's what's up. I'm excited for that. Do you want to stay in the same field or you want to do something completely new? Okay, cool. So let's get into it. Cause my girl out here got the cooties. We gotta make sure Ashley's straight. So make sure y'all do a lot of talking because Ashley does not have a voice and she really is pushing through for me. So this episode or this season, I asked the audience what kind of topics that they want to talk about, because last season I did 10 whole episodes by myself with my, people came on, but the topics were really close to me. You know what I'm saying? They were topics that touch my soul, and doing 10 episodes of being vulnerable was just way too much. What's up, y'all? Thanks for joining. So this season I was okay, what topics do you guys want to talk about? And I decided to bring Ashley on, and she said that she wanted to talk about the death of her father and just how she processed it, and how when someone dies, you kind of go through these different emotions. And I thought that was really dope because, first of all, Ashley has never talked about this on the platform like this. So I was just truly honored is a weird word, but I thought it was dope that she decided to have this conversation on Moments of Clarity. Secondly, I was experiencing that time with Ashley, and I think it's important for me to share my perspective and how you can be better support to people when something like this happens, when someone experiences death, especially in this confusing way that Ashley's going to discuss later. I thought it would be really helpful to just be honest about the type of person or Like, my intent was good, but it just wasn't a great experience for Ashley or myself afterwards. And then the third thing was just like, I mean, we really don't talk about this stuff for real. You know, people don't have the space. Like, you can't sit at a coffee table and say, like, hey, like, someone just died or someone died and I'm feeling like, I just wanted to create a space where it just wasn't like this cliche topic. And I wanted to be gentle with it too, because it is something that is very, you know, touchy. So I'm so happy. I'm gonna bring Ashley on. And yeah, make sure y'all ask questions if y'all want to come up and share. If y'all have comments, y'all already know how this go. This ain't no like me and Ashley conversation. This is a community conversation. So feel free to, you know, join or put your comments in the comment box. Okay. Yes. Oh. Oh my gosh. I thought I was just sitting there drinking and I didn't push the button. I was about to crack up.
Hi.
What's up, Ashley?
Hi.
Look at you.
Sorry, my voice sounds gross.
Yeah, girl. It's something in my teeth. Oh no, that's crazy.
Wow.
Anyways, hey y'all that just joined us. Ashley, you look cute. You got your background popping.
You know, I tried today.
Okay, cool. So first off, I just want to thank you for joining my show. You know.
Oh, no problem. Of course, I was gonna join.
So if you want to introduce yourself while I get this stuff out my teeth, I'll be right back.
Sure. Hi, I'm Ashley. You have seen me on Tajal's Instagram before. Hi again. Oh, good to see you too, Deanna.
Aww.
I can see comments.
Yeah. So, is that the end of your introduction?
I'm Ashley. I'm super hot.
Ooh.
I don't know.
Oh, hey.
Hi, Kiera.
You the tear to my
Hi,
tenure.
Devin.
Hey, Devin. Okay, y'all. Thank you for joining. I really appreciate it. Yeah, so Moments of Clarity is just a space, period. Period, 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 and period. Moments of Clarity is a space where we just have transparent conversations, just to kind of like open up the space for community to either like take something from it, have conversations with us, or just create a space where they like can open up. You know, I don't know. I'm just doing what God tells me to do. So today's episode is called Life After Death. Ashley titled this episode, and she really wanted to talk about
the death of my dad. It's been almost 10 years. We're at 9 years this past January. And I feel like maybe this is the time for me to really like put out what that experience was like for me, because it was a lot of complex things that maybe other people might feel, but like you said before, it's not something that people just sit around and talk about. Like, it's not a comfortable topic of conversation, and then you don't want to trigger somebody else trying to share your experience. So
Yay! So let's all drop some emojis, maybe like hearts or hand claps for Ashley, because like this is like really huge. So number one, can you give us like a history between like your dad? Because I like just started finding out stuff like after he passed, and I thought that was like crazy. Like so like as you like started to share it, like it just started painting the whole picture for me. Because when I came in with your relationship, we can talk about it later, but yeah, share the history of the relationship between your dad.
Okay, so I was my dad's firstborn kid. I was actually at his high school graduation. For my younger years before I started school, my dad was actually the stay-at-home parent. So while I was really young, we had a lot of bonding time. After I went to school, you know, my parents, their relationship didn't work out. And then there was a lot of years of like weekend visits and, you know, a lot of false promises made, a lot of, well, I'm going to come to this, I'm going to pick you up from school today. And then, you know, he's not there, or, hey, we're going to do this for your birthday. And then that doesn't happen. The relationship just really was strained after that. Yeah, that's the bulk of our history.
So where I came in was like high school, and Ashley, I don't remember you mentioning your dad much. I do remember like you going over to like your stepmom's house. I remember you talking about like your step siblings, but I kind of like remember like us brushing over the strainedness of your relationship with your dad. But I remember in college, I started like getting a greater understanding, and I think I started to mature more, so I was able to like understand like, oh, like he's really not showing up, you know what I'm saying? And there's like some hurt there. And so then it was crazy because we like, did we see him twice or once? I don't remember.
I feel like we ran into him a lot.
Yeah, we started running into him a lot. And I remember Ashley just being like very like, no, like very like guarded and very like, I don't want to talk to him. Like he would act, well, the stepmom and your dad would like ask for a number, but I don't want to tell a story. But anyways, this is where I started coming in, and I'm like, so my energy was like, forget that man at first, but then when I saw like how he was like being like really like, you know, let's connect, I was like, well, maybe, you know, y'all should connect.
I think that part of the story is wrong. It was never my dad that was initiating the connection. It was always his stepchildren, his wife. You need to call your dad. You need to do this. You need to do that. And so my refusal comes in me being the one to do the emotional labor. I didn't know that word at the time, obviously, but it was like, no, like I'm the kid. Hello, like you call me. Like they were able to come and put in the effort. My stepmom even showed up at my high school and
I remember that.
Pretended to be my aunt to try to see me. And it was like, your wife got all this smoke. Where are you? Like, if your wife can do this, if your stepdaughter can do this, like, why can't you? Like, you are an able-bodied human. Come on.
Yeah. Thank you for clarifying for me, because, you know,
it was a messy time, you know.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense now. Damn, hindsight is 2020. Okay, so we get to this point where we're in college. Everyone is reaching out to you about like your relationship with your dad. Can we talk about, do you mind going into the space of like when he passed away, what that phone call was like?
Okay, so the funny thing is, so my dad died on the 5th of January, 2014. I saw him last before that on New Year's Eve of 2013. So I ran into him at Walmart. I was trying to avoid him. I saw him and his wife. You know, he just made it seem like, you know, hey, you know, we should try to, you know, make a connection. And that was really his first time saying like, hey, we should do this. So I felt like a little open to it. And then like to get the phone call that he died, it was just, okay. So it left me in a really confusing place. So in the moment, there was just a lot of grief that, you know, a life was lost, like a life that my life was impacted by, because up until then, I hadn't known anybody that died. So up until I was 21, everybody that I ever known was still alive. And so it was just like, wow, I know things happen, but things happen to people I know. And that was just like a big mind fuck all on its own. I'm like, oh my gosh, like the people I know can die. Like, I know that's what's supposed to happen, but like up until then, that hasn't been my reality. So it was just, there was a lot of crying. My uncle was the one, we were the closest growing up. My uncle was the one that called and broke the news to me. I just remember that being a difficult time because At the time, it was winter break at UD. Nobody was on campus. None of my, like, I think you were out of town. Like, none of my friends were around. Like, it was just a very strange time for something like that to happen. Um, I was hanging out with people that I don't normally hang out with and having to process this with them. And it was just like, these are not my people. I'm grateful to them for being there. So let me not, you know, act like they didn't matter. It just, you know, you want your close people when something like that happens. And so I felt like isolated. I felt like I was on an island and I was like having to deal with this by myself, even though my family was there too. But seeing as how they were grieving, I felt like I couldn't call them to grieve with them because like this was your brother. You had him longer than me. This was your son. You had him. And so it was just a really lonely time.
I remember that. Were you able to well, first off, that was a year when we had like a winter vortex too, I believe. So like my
Yeah.
trip in Florida was like even extended.
Yeah.
And I remember that you saying like I remember that being a point in like one of our conversations like later on and in that space like you're not here, you're not here. It's not like you were upset at me, but you were
Yeah.
like really upset. And then I don't know where Jamal with two L's was like,
I don't remember where he was either, but he wasn't around.
okay, so what did you find yourself grieving in that space?
So initially it was just like, wow, my dad died. And it was like this relationship that I thought like my mind changed things. So for a long time I felt guilty because, you know, even though he wasn't the one making effort, somebody was making effort on his behalf. And I'm like, well, maybe I should have just, you know, said yes if he was gonna die. Like I should have did that. But the twisted reality is just, how do you know that me doing that would have even yielded a better result? Like, would I still have to chase him down and call him all the time? Like, do I know that he was really interested as much as his wife and stepdaughter made it seem like? Like, how do I know these things to be true? But you couldn't tell me that for years. Like, maybe up until like 2020, 21, somewhere in there when I started therapy, where it was just like, no, girl, how you know? Because for a long time I felt guilty, like it's my fault that we didn't have the relationship that I wanted to have. Like I started seeing like, well, we could have did this and he could have been at my graduation, and you know, who's gonna walk me down the aisle when I get married? Like all these things were coming to my mind.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's deep. And I just want to like say like to anyone who is like supporting someone who is like grieving, like I would just really highly suggest like not trying to be the resource for that person. Like I feel like I didn't know how to be a like good friend in that space. Like I was really trying to like, because I didn't know the extent of Ashley's relationship with her dad, I was like trying to like force her through the process. Like, oh, like, you know, F that man. Like, you know, just really try. I was really, my intent was like, I wanted my best friend to be like, okay. And I was coming from a place of like, girl, remember, we didn't like him. Remember, girl, we didn't like him. But I didn't understand the different layers. I was also like 20, and I don't think I really understood it or understood how to approach it or even be there. Like, even I still think I struggle. Like, the other day, I was like reading your notes, and it popped in my head, like, dang, his anniversary just passed. Like, I felt bad. Like, damn, I would be a better best friend if I just, like, even, like, nudged you. Or, you know, like, but I feel like even now, it's just really hard for me to process. But, you know, I'm here for you, nigga. uh, hey y'all. So I think I just kind of want to read the room. Can you drop like a heart or an emoji if you've like if you've experienced like grief in a manner of like where it's confusing, or like, or if you had to process grief at all. I just want to see like what our crowd talking about. Okay. So what about like how did this all impact your mental health?
Um, so the mental health is kind of tied into the amount of grieving. So I said that it took up until like 2020, 2021 before I started realizing like, or losing the guilt over grieving the relationship that we would have had. And so then I had to start thinking about, well, damn, that he didn't show up. Like my dad wasn't there. So then it's like, okay, now I'm not feeling so guilty for, putting the strain of the relationship on me. Now I'm like grieving this man who wasn't who he needed to be in my life. Like I'm messed up in the head. We're gonna get there. Like I got some things messed up about me that's directly from him. Like this is a result of our relationship. And like I'm gonna have to live with that. I'm still having to do the emotional work of that even though he's not here. I think that also with new information from like talking to my nana, like I find out more about his childhood trauma, the things that he went through. So then I'm starting to feel guilty over that. Like he couldn't show up for me because he couldn't show up for him. Like he had things that he needed to heal from. But even still, that should be more reason to not create those same issues in somebody else. But like they don't know those things, I guess. I don't know. So I had to reach a point of acceptance. Now, the part where I think it most obviously impacted my mental health is that I have a hard time letting things end on a negative note, because it's like, well, like say we get into an argument and this doesn't really happen. Like I feel like we don't really have arguments that end. Yes.
Oh.
Arguments that end with like, bitch, fuck you. Like it don't really go there. But let's say we had like this really super big fight. I would not be able to let it end like that, no matter who's right or wrong, because in my head it's like, oh my gosh, what if she dies now? Like we just had this big huge fight and she what if she dies? And so then it's like I'm gonna feel all these things. So like I feel like in some ways it's led me to accept behaviors that I shouldn't accept, just because of the fear that something might happen. So like for example, with my ex, he would ignore me sometimes, like just watching football with his friends, or so he says. Who knows? The jury's still out. But he'll say like, yeah, I was just watching the game with my friends. I won't hear from him for hours. And so like my mind is racing like, oh my gosh, did he get into a car accident? Like, did his friend stab him? They get into a fight? Like, did he get shot at this after hours club? I don't know. Like all these things are like going through my mind. And then when he finally texts me back, I'm just like, oh my gosh, he's alive. That I don't care that much about him ignoring me. I'm just like, thank God he didn't die. And so like I feel like things just kind of skated. Yeah. Like it wasn't that simple. Like obviously I would still have some residual anger left over, but it was just like the relief of him being alive was bigger than my anger. And it was just like that's fucked up, actually.
Trying to get sponsorships, Ashley. Watch your mouth. Sorry. No, I'm kidding. But not really. First off, I want to say like thank you for sharing, Ashley. I'm gonna circle back around, but I just really wanted to acknowledge everyone that
this is a reminder.
It's okay.
Journal.
Sorry, guys.
This is a reminder. Journal.
Oh, okay. I was hoping it was a freaky reminder. I just really want to take a moment and just really just give my love and send like just love to everyone that just dropped a heart in honor of whoever you're missing or grieving, or whoever you lost. Yeah, just really like a little moment of silence. But thank y'all for sharing. And also if you have questions or you want to hop on and something Ashley is saying is really resonating with you, definitely, feel free to hop on. Like I said, this is a communal conversation. So Ashley, you said you would forgive, or it would like cause the fear of like someone dying would just cause you to like like forget a little bit about like things that they've done. That's interesting. Has that ever happened between us? Like ever? Like
No, we don't have those kind of problems.
yeah, that's true. Okay, just making sure we don't have those problems because of that. You know what I'm saying?
No, no, no.
I want you to cuss me out. I like it, you know? Okay. So, anyways, earlier we talked about like as you're like helping someone process or you're being close to someone who is processing these things, kind of sending them to resources because I felt like personally I was not the best resource for Ashley. But it's better to be like a space of comfort and a space of like, you know, I'm here to listen, I'm here to hug you, I'm here to hold you if you need it, but not like a therapist. And so you actually went to a therapist, which we'll talk about later, but I did want to talk about something that you said. You said that when your father passed away, something that you said reminded me of something that I saw when I was doing research. It was like people think death brings closure. It does not. Like it's not like let's say you got into an argument with someone and then they passed away. Like it doesn't make you automatically stop being mad. Like you're mad, now you're grieving, now you're, you know, feeling all these emotions. So yeah, something you said reminded me of that, and I thought that was crazy. I thought that was crazy.
Yeah, it just compounds everything. Like, oh dang, now it's more. Now it's more stuff to figure out.
Yeah. Mariah says she felt you on something that you were saying earlier. I think you saw it. I saw it too, but I just want to say that out loud.
Hi, Mariah.
Okay.
Oh, okay, I see.
And then they said like when someone passes, you like think like, how could I have been a better person? So you really talked about that, and that was something that you discussed. I want to see like what is something that you like would have changed about your grieving process, or are you like everything happened how it's supposed to happen? Like, is there anything you would have done sooner? Would you would have told me to shut the fuck up sooner, or like would you would have gone to therapy sooner? Like, or are you just like the process was the process?
Yeah, I fortunately and unfortunately, I just believe that everything happens for a reason. And I think that each stage of my grieving process came with the growth that I was experiencing in my life outside of that. So like my understanding of things, even for me, is helping with my grieving process. Like I've reached a point of acceptance. Like it took a while to get there. I don't feel as much guilt. I feel very much, you know, things happen. People go through things in life. Life is tough for a whole lot of us, but we still got to show up and do what we have to do. And him showing up to be my dad was something he should have showed up and did. So like, I don't have a hard time saying that anymore. Like I did before. It was just like, that's so messed up. He's dead. But it's like, no, death be twisting things in your head. It don't change what happened. Like it doesn't, because if he was still alive, like how do I know that anything would have been any different? I don't.
Yeah.
And that comes with therapy.
Okay. Yeah, that's a great segue into that. So what made you decide to go to therapy? Was this grieving process a big part of it? Did you know that? Okay, go ahead.
So I went to therapy in 2020 because of COVID. Basically what happened is that I already had a lot of anxiety. I didn't know. And it did kind of start with the death of my dad, because it was this idea that people around me could die. And that was never a reality for me before. And then so that happened when I was 21. When I was 26, I got diagnosed with a chronic illness. And then it was like, oh, stuff can happen to me. And so then it was like, oh man, that was like a whole, like, I can't say the word, a mind.
I'm not sure I understand.
Shut up. All my devices keep talking, guys. I'm really sorry. But that really messed with my mind a lot. Like, oh my gosh, stuff can happen to me. And then my mind didn't handle that very well. And so like I would have panic attacks at night, not knowing they were panic attacks. I didn't know what that was. And then when 2020 happened, I kept seeing the chronic illness that I have on TV. Like, if you have this, you're probably going to die from this. You should stay in your house. And it was like, oh, okay. And that's what happened. I was shut in my house for a year, and I started therapy because I was like, this is just not okay. And what came from therapy is understanding, because I didn't know all those things before. Therapy is how I figured out, okay, this ties to this and this ties to that. Makes a lot of sense. Like, it does. It all stems from the death of my father. I just had no idea. So when we got to that point, because initially I went in for COVID, like just processing being in a pandemic. But once we got to talking about my dad, then it was like, I would tell her how I felt. Like, I should have took him up. I should have took his number when we was in Walmart. The many times that we ran into him in Walmart, I should have got hit. I should have asked him for his number, or I should have did this and I should have did that. And she's like, how do you know that would have changed anything? Like, she started making me question my own thought process. Like, where's your proof? Like, where's your evidence? Like, what in your history shows you that would have been your future?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, you're right. You got a point there.
Devin said therapy is life-changing. I agree.
Yeah.
I really agree. Is anyone else in our audience in therapy, or have you used therapy to kind of help you deal with the process of like mourning a loved one? Also, Ashley, you just gave me flashbacks to like us dodging him at Walmart. Like, that was like,
It was a frequent thing.
yeah, I remember now. I just remember twice, but yeah, I do remember the constant contact from the family members. So like, okay, what is oh, nice, Bree, that's what's up. What is like something, is there anything, the difference between emotion and reality? Just like kind of having to like separate the two, or keep them together. Well, I'm going to carry that question with me when my thoughts start getting wild.
Oh, this is good.
Ashley, is there anything like you would like wanted to share about your story with the audience? Like something that we haven't touched on, or something like you were really eager to kind of get off your chest?
I think that something like that is not something that people should process on their own. Like, I think when something, that type of trauma happens, whether it is a loved one that you had a great relationship with, whether it's a death you could see coming, maybe they had a terminal illness, or it's a death with a strained relationship. Like, I just feel like, do yourself a favor and process that with somebody who's not a friend, who's not family, somebody who is a professional. I know people, therapy isn't for everybody, so it's not something you would have to like stick with forever, but to get you through that thing, because I just felt like it took a long time for me to get there, and I didn't even go for that reason, but that reason caused all this other things to happen in my mind. And not to say it could have been avoided, but I could have been better equipped sooner. So I guess, if something happened, don't be afraid to like get some professional help.
I 100% agree. I already said my piece on that. Do you feel like that time in your life, like the way that our relationship was in that space, do you feel like it affected like how you felt about our friendship? Like, was the way that I reacted to everything like painful, or was it just like, what was your thought process with that?
I think yes. I think that it was definitely like detrimental to our friendship, but it was just hard to, at the time, even think that, because it was like, well, this is what I got right now. So like, if this is how it's going to be, like, okay. Like, I felt very, I guess, not nervous to share, but like it made it hard to share, because it was just like, well, she just gonna give me the tough love, and I don't know that I can handle that right now. So
tough Tage. Woo. Yeah. So
yes,
sorry.
I definitely think that. Yeah. but I would say we came a long way from there. So, you know.
Yeah, sometimes I like cringe just like about certain things, like even like with your father's flowers, man, just like the lack of like emotional intelligence or emotional support. um but I really appreciate you because like I don't know, I feel like you know that's why we are where we are now, because it's like we can talk about going through stuff like that and it just be something, you know, that's like a low point for our relationship, but it's not like I didn't feel like I didn't feel like you thought, like you probably was like bitch, but you weren't like, yeah, you a bad person, you are such a bad person. It was just like, bitch, you're getting on my nerves. And you didn't say that, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like I just never felt, even in that space, you know, judged or I don't know. But yeah, I'm so sorry, Ashley. I'm so sorry. But now I know how to handle, I mean, Lord, let's not.
Hopefully, you don't have to anytime soon for anybody.
Yeah, that's what I'm like. Let me not say that.
Yeah.
So where are you now? Like what's up? What's the update? And then also, if anyone wants to join or share their emotions, actually, there were some things that were said. Therapy's life changing difference. Wow, I'm going to carry this. Oh, Krista said not with mourning specifically, but yes. So I think that was towards the therapy comment. And then Juanita said, yes, feeling such big emotions without professional support can make the journey darker. Did you feel like it made your journey darker?
I don't know about darker. It just longer. Like it just lasted so long. Like I feel like each phase of this, yes, I was gonna feel it. You can't avoid your feelings. You can't run away from those as much as you may try. And trust me, I'm a person who tries or tried. I'm getting a lot better, but I was a person who tries to be like, I ain't feeling that. We're not talking about that. I'm not doing that. But the feelings are still very much there. But to answer your question about the update, the part of the story that I left out is finding out that I had siblings on the day that my dad died, thanks to his lovely wife. So on the day that my dad died, when we went to my Nana's house, that's his mom, his wife was there, and you know, she's having her own process. No matter my feelings about it, that was still her husband, no matter her feelings for him, but you know, I gotta go there. As she's leaving, she's like, oh yeah, you got a little sister. Oh yeah, maybe a brother. I'm just like, oh, okay. So at the funeral, I met one of my siblings that I had no idea about. So that was a fun time.
Was that the little sister?
Yeah. Yeah, I met the little sister who, she got dad's whole face, man. It's great. And recently there was a brother, I knew about him, but I forgot about him. Like there was a picture of him when I was like 10. He was like, I don't know. He was younger. He had been gone for a lot of years, and then randomly last year he made an appearance on Facebook, and I was like, oh, okay. So the update to this is trying to figure out, because I'm still the big sister, trying to navigate like how do I do these relationships, because I'm still battling my issue with like being the one to do all of the emotional labor. Like here we are again. Like, am I gonna have to be the one to say, okay, come on guys, let's do this?
Oh,
that's where we are now.
Wow. Well, thank you for sharing that, because it's not all like, oh, I went to a therapist and I feel great, everybody. Like,
no,
I
still work.
Yes, still work, and then adding on the extra layers of siblings, of emotions, of your evil ass stepmother. Like, all of these things are just compiling, but I feel like you are handling it, and I feel like you're doing the necessary things. And I feel like your growth, like this wouldn't be Ashley 5 years ago. Like,
no.
you know, I just feel like you growing as a person in this process. I don't know what words to use, but I just feel like it's it's different, you know, and it's healthier, and I just feel like it's just different.
Yeah, I agree.
So what do you want people? Oh, sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just saying I agree. Go ahead, girl.
Kiera said, "Thank you for sharing your story, Ashley."
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you guys for watching.
Mm-hmm. So what do you want to like? What do you want people to take from this? Like when you were like, "This is what I want to talk about." Like, why did you choose this topic?
I chose the topic because I feel like death is just hard to talk about. And then it's hard to talk about death when you don't have the most positive feelings about the person that died. Because everybody wants to just, death it changes the reality. You only want to focus on the good, but it's like in real life, you got to take the good with the bad. And in death, you do too. But a lot of people don't have that opinion. But it's just like, no, I'm still messed up from stuff this dead man did. So I think mostly just be okay with talking about the not so good things if you need to. It can be a hindrance not to.
This reminds me of that book with that girl from Nickelodeon, and she wrote it about her mom. It was like,
Jeanette McCurdy.
Yeah, Sam, is that her name?
Yeah.
But she was like, I'm glad my mother's dead, or something like that. That was the title of the book. But it was basically about the abuse that her mom had kind of like did to her while she was alive, and their like weirdness in their relationship, and then her mother passing, and she was like experiencing the same thing. Like her well, not the exact same thing, but her mom had like been so abusive, but she thought that the passing of her mother was going to like just like clear it. But like you said, it just it was just grief on top of it, then sadness, then that thought like, dang, it could have been better, like just this, but there's no opportunity at all for it to get better. And so I just think that's interesting. And it's weird to say, but I appreciate when people talk about death, because if everybody deals with it, everybody's going to have to deal with it. And if none of us share our stories like you and share when we're comfortable, how can we help each other heal? I mean, we can go to therapy, but like, therapy is once a week, every other week, or every week if you're lucky. And it's just such an allotted space. Whereas like your community is here, right now. So I definitely want to piggyback again and just say like, be open to sharing how you feel with people that you trust, and tell them what you need. Like, and create spaces for people to tell you what they need, because I just think that communication is just really important. And if somebody can't grasp it, have that respect. And like, it's just a lot. We all dealing with a lot. But yeah, thank you for creating a space, Ashley.
Oh, no problem.
Okay, cool. Well, if nobody, I'm gonna like give maybe like 2 more minutes for questions. Do you guys have questions for Ashley? Do you want to come up here and say anything? We'll give you like 2 minutes. But yeah, we usually open it up for questions the whole time. Y'all literally just listen. That's so sweet. So yeah,
somebody said thank you, Baby Biscuit Studios.
Oh, Bree said great insight. Thank you for sharing.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you guys for listening. This is so cool.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I don't see any requests or questions, but I just want to thank everyone for joining this episode of Moments of Clarity. It was definitely like a different episode, but I feel like it was very necessary, and I'm so grateful you chose this topic, Ashley, because I'd be so scary. So like, I just really appreciate you. This is really a special moment of clarity. Like, this is what Moments of Clarity is about. And I'm so grateful that I opened this season to like my community to share too, because like I don't have this perspective, and I think that you helped so many people tonight. So make sure you guys follow Ashley. I don't know what kind of like conversation.
Follow me. Want to see my face?
Yes, and the girls. You about to make my Instagram go viral.
I'm covered up today though.
So on time. Thank you, ladies. Oh, thank you, Jazz, for joining.
Oh,
That's
Jasmine.
Jars by Jazz.
That's the jars.
She got the jars. I'm surprised you remember her, Jazz. She remembered you. That's like really special. Ashley don't remember nobody. Mm-hmm. All right, y'all. Well, we'll catch you later. Make sure you join next week. Oh, Ashley, you can tell about your book and your blog page.
Oh, come through, Cornita. I guess I do got stuff. I read a lot of books. I share a lot of them on the internet. Also, I have a blog website that's in my bio where I kind of tell my whole life in written form because being on video makes me nervous.
Oh, we are like total opposites.
I'm getting more comfortable. Like the first time I was on live, I was like, oh, thank you, Devin.
Yeah, Ashley's blog is juicy. It's amazing. It's transparent. Like, y'all think Moments of Clarity is about transparency. Ashley is the transparency queen. Oh my gosh, we're maybe, huh?
I said on the internet.
Oh, on the internet. And she's also a teacher, but I guess that's not, I mean.
I share some teachery things sometimes. Yeah.
But if you want to know more about her ex and all of that stuff and how her daddy issues show up in her love life, go to her blog.
It's more than that, y'all.
All right, y'all.
Juicy though.
Yeah, so join us next week because Mariah J is going to join us. And we're just going to talk about love and spreading love and just like love and the definition and all kinds of love. So make sure you guys join. Share this episode if you want to win a mug. Share this episode and tag me. Ashley, can you show them your Moments of Clarity mug? Bye, Bree. Bye, y'all. Yeah, you can win that amazing mug. And yeah, y'all, see y'all later. Thanks, Quan. Everyone calls me Jars. That sounds like a titty nickname. I love it. All right, bye, y'all. See you later.